I want to talk about closure after a relationship has ended and how I, as a tarot reader, help my clients get that closure that they need to move on and heal and recover after a breakup. This is a really interesting topic to me because it is so different. It is so varied. I have been reading tarot for over a decade. I specialize in relationships, and I have talked to hundreds and thousands of people who are recovering from a breakup, who are trying to get on a path to healing. And for some people, it's really hard to recover. It's really hard to heal after a breakup if they don't have closure, if they don't understand. Closure can be really difficult to get in a relationship aftermath, like after a breakup. Sometimes your ex doesn't want to talk to you. Sometimes they lie to you. I find that that is pretty common. It's not that people are bad people. It's just breakups are hard enough. And when you come up to an ex and you're like, tell me what I did wrong. Like, tell me how I messed up. Tell me how I ruined our relationship. A lot of people find that very uncomfortable. A lot of people find it very difficult to give honest and direct feedback and criticism after a breakup. That's where the whole, oh, it's not you, it's me, the whole trope came from. Most people I've found try to be as delicate and sensitive and as dismissive as possible. They'll say things like, I'm just really busy in my life right now, or I just have a lot of family stuff going on, I can't date. And while that may be true, it's not the truth. It's not the core of why they wanted to end the relationship or why they don't want to be with you anymore. And so sometimes a lot of people find these answers unsatisfactory, and they lie in bed thinking like, well, I'll just make their life less stressful for them, or I'll just wait until their schedule clears up for me, and then we can date, and then we can be together. And they're trying to get and understand, but they just can't. And part of it is because they haven't been told the truth. So what I like to do with my clients in tarot is when they come for closure, especially after a relationship, and they just want to know, why did this relationship fail? Why did we break up? I want to know the truth. Amazingly, what happens most of the time is the truth you actually know. You know in your subconscious. Our subconscious is constantly observing the world around us, and it's full of wisdom and insight, but especially when we're stressed or we're emotional, we have a hard time accessing that insight. We have a hard time accessing that wisdom. And what I've found when it comes to finding closure after a breakup is I'll pull cards and I'll start showing artwork and I'll start talking about archetypes, and the person will be like, yeah, I don't even know like why I asked this question. Like, I knew that, I saw that. I didn't know why I didn't see that until now. So a lot of times after a breakup, you know inside of you what went wrong. Like, you know what was wrong, but our stress, our denial, our wanting to protect ourselves, clinging onto the hope that maybe we'll reconcile or get back together. There's a million and one reasons why we lie to ourselves. But when we come for a tarot session and you really honestly give your subconscious a space to connect with the artwork and open yourselves up to what your true sensations are, a lot of people find out that they knew all along, that the closure that they were seeking, the peace of mind that they were seeking, was actually inside of them the entire time. They just had to allow themselves to access that part of their mind. And I think that that is really fascinating because I've seen clients who have struggled in the aftermath of a breakup for months, like for months. And they're depressed and they're anxious and they're sad and they're depressed about it. And then they come in for a tarot session and they're like, I just want to know what went wrong. I want to understand why we weren't compatible. I want to know, why our relationship failed. And then I pull some cards, we have a conversation, and then they're like, why did I just waste the last couple months of my life crying over this? This is so obvious. It's so obvious why this relationship failed. I don't know why I was wallowing in pain and confusion. Now, when I look at the situation, now it's like so obvious why our relationship failed, why we weren't compatible. Believe it or not, that's actually the response that I get a lot of the time. Everybody's different. I don't want to make like broad generalizations for everybody, but let's just say it's not uncommon for clients to start the session sad, and they start the session being like, I don't know why he broke up with me. I really thought we were gonna get married. I thought that we were happy. I don't know why, he all of a sudden was upset. And then at the end of the session, they're like, wow, we were really not a match. I don't know why I lied to myself for so long. Like, I don't know why I didn't see those red flags. Clearly this is not a relationship that would make him happy or me happy, right? To that shift from one mindset to another is something that I see very often in my practice. And like I said, I'm not giving my clients any special information. I'm not, tapping into some unknown. What I find is I'm just pulling cards and connecting them with archetypes and allowing them to detach from their situation, look at the artwork on the card, and then they allow their subconscious to unveil the truth, their own inner wisdom that they had inside of them the whole time. It's interesting. Okay, so I pulled the Hanged Man, right? We see an image of a person who's bound, tied to a tree. They're hanging, they're not going anywhere, right? So like if I pulled this for a client and they were like, why did this relationship fail? And I pulled this card, a lot of people instantly recognize feelings of being trapped or feeling suspended, feeling like things didn't go further, that things weren't progressing, feeling like we weren't going to achieve our dreams together. I mean, I never hear the same thing twice, like every single client. It's pretty amazing. But a lot of clients have different reactions to the artwork, and that's because everyone is different. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's relationship is different. And when I present the artwork to the client and we talk about the archetypes and the meaning in the cards, and they allow their subconscious to come forth and they allow their own inner wisdom to speak to them, a lot of clients go, yeah, that was definitely how I felt. I don't know why I'm mourning this relationship. It needed to end. And I think that's where I find so much encouragement from doing these kinds of readings, because for most of my clients, it's a really positive experience. I love helping people. I love it. It's such a thrill. Like, it's such a thrill when a client comes in for a session and they're anxious and they're stressed and they're like, how do I get over this broken heart? I need understanding. I need closure, but he blocked me, and he's got a new girlfriend, and it's all sorts of mess. And we break it down, we pull some cards, we explore artwork, and at the end of the session, they're like, I got this. I don't need my ex to call me and feed me some lines that are probably crap anyway, because most people are just too nice. They're not going to be honest. They're not going to say, hey, you know what? This relationship ended because of this, because this is how I was. You know what I mean? A lot of people aren't going to be like that. So then at the end of the session, for clients to feel that release, for them to feel their own inner wisdom. It's very rewarding. I wouldn't say that as a tarot reader, sometimes in a session, like, we do uncover information that the client didn't know and somehow it pulled up in the card. Like, without a doubt, and I'm sure I'll go into that. There are situations where there is, like, I don't know how that happened. I don't know how we got that information, right? Yeah, and I have stories I'll share. But when it comes to closure and finding closure after a breakup, more often than not, especially because you were in the relationship, like, you were there. I wasn't there, you were there. Your subconscious is constantly absorbing the positives, the negatives, the innuendos, the feelings, and deep down inside, the closure that we're often seeking is actually in ourselves. We just have to access that information. We just have to calm the chaos in our mind. We have to see the situation from another point of view. We've got to allow our subconscious or our spirit, our higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it, we have to allow our mind to connect with us without the constant hamster wheel of our own voice. Especially when it comes to closure and healing, I find that people's capacity to heal themselves is really inspiring and very powerful. Don't discount your own wisdom. Don't discount your own inner voice. Many times the answer that you're seeking, you already know. You already know. You just have to allow yourself to access that and to see that. Anyway, that's my little ramble for today. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care. Bye.